didn't care if it were little babies in the car. They just wanted to shoot somebody.
A serial killer on the loose as police search frantically. Who is now stepping in to help with the latest investigation just ahead? And a famous New Mexico stuntman found dead in his home. What detectives are saying about what happened. Also, a new wildfire in New Mexico this morning. Flames have already destroyed homes and hundreds of acres. The latest details on the firefight overnight. Good morning, everybody. Many residents in a small New Mexico town are out of their homes this morning. That fire, blazing in Tiburon just south of Cloudcroft, has now burned close to 200 acres. News 13's Catherine Mazzone has the latest details and what we've learned overnight. Catherine?
Adam, officials say about 10 homes and outbuildings are destroyed as firefighters work to get a handle on this fast-moving fire.
If it gets out of control, it burns all of us, and that's what they're going to be doing, is thinking about taking care of their fellow people.
Arlen Ponders, Cloudcroft's public information officer, that was him there. He tells us the Forest Service and 10 additional departments are working to fight this blaze. Air tankers, along with a number of ground crews, are also working the fire. Take a look at this video from Sky News. The fire started at about 3:30 yesterday afternoon in northeast Tiburon, then quickly moved south towards the village. Along with 10 structures, the blaze destroyed 2 fire trucks that couldn't move fast enough. There are no reports of injuries. Officials say Otero County deputies went door to door evacuating residents. Ponder tells us about 40 people checked into the makeshift shelter at the Cloudcroft gym. Their pets, too. He says more than half of them are staying the night. Ponder says they're taking livestock at the Otero County Fairgrounds. A vet in the area has also opened up her facility. Close to 900 people live in the village of Tiburon. Back to you.
All right, thanks so much, Catherine. There is a roadblock at Highway 130 on the Sunspot Highway. Fire officials are asking people to stay away from that area. Kristen Curry has been tracking what firefighters could face as they head out to the fire lines this morning. They're really trying to get a handle on this now because it seems like it's moving fast. Is weather going to help or hurt?
Unfortunately, today's going to be a little rocky. We do look to see better conditions tomorrow, but as far as what we're dealing with right now, 73 degrees in and around the fire zone. Winds are light out of the northwest, about 5 miles per hour. But here's what's going to kill us. Those humidity values down to 19%, and it's really going to be hard to get the humidity up today. We are just too dry out there. So when it comes to the fire forecast in and around that Tiburon fire, you'll notice today we have that red light, good amount of sunshine, but 90 degrees. Even up in the higher elevations in and around that mountain community, you'll notice the winds out of the northwest 5 up to 15 miles per hour sustained, and humidity likely to be around 15%. Now, as we get into tomorrow here, you'll notice a little bit more cloud cover, temperature slightly cooler. And as far as the winds go, lighter with better humidity. Our humidity values will jump up thanks to a front that's moving in today. So I'm going to break down everything you need to know, the impacts of the front, the temperatures that we're going to see over the next 24 hours. And some parts of the state will be noticeable when it comes to the difference in the heat. I mean, we've been baking that across the Eastern Plains. Good news for you guys. I'll explain coming up here in about 15 minutes.
All right, Kristen, thanks. We're also following breaking news this morning in the South Valley in Albuquerque, where one person has been found dead and roads are closed. News 13's Sarah Yingling is live on the scene right now with the very latest. This is near Coors and Central. Sarah?
That's right, Adam. We are at Coors and Central, and you can see behind me that police have the southbound lane of Central closed and southbound lane of Coors and the eastbound lane of Central closed. This as they continue to investigate what they believe to be a hit and run. Take a look at this video our photographer on the scene got just a few hours ago. Police tell us that it appears someone hit a pedestrian and then took off. That person's identity has not been released, neither has the driver's. Again, police have this portion of this intersection of Coors and Central blocked off. If you're planning on heading to work anytime soon and are planning on taking this direction, you may want to consider a different route. This, on top of the pre-ART construction, could cause some headaches for motorists heading to work this morning. Adam?
All right, Sarah, of course, we'll update you on air and on the KRQE News app as soon as those lanes are reopened. We also have updates on Facebook, KRQE News 13. We're awaiting word this morning on what, if any, decision Rio Rancho City councilors made on a new proposal to match the mayor's salary to the pay of residents. Council members met last night on the issue. The mayor's new salary would be nearly $60,000 a year, the median household income in Rio Rancho. That's up from about $30,000. City Councilor Cheryl Everett says the current salary is too low.
We want to attract the most qualified people to the job and someone who can afford to devote full time to the duties.
Now, if it does pass, that salary bump would not kick in until after the current mayor, Greg Hull's term expires in 2018. New at 6 this morning, APS Superintendent Raquel Reedy is replacing a top official in the district. According to the Albuquerque Journal, Antonio Gonzalez will take on a new role as the district's new interim associate superintendent for human resources. Gonzalez was previously the principal at Atrisco Heritage Academy. He replaces Karen Rudis. Rudis was caught up in a scandal after former Superintendent Luis Valentino hired former Deputy Superintendent Jason Martinez, but did not do a background check. It was later revealed Martinez was facing child sexual assault charges in Colorado. Rudis claimed that she told Valentino at least 6 times his background check had not been conducted. Valentino disputed that, saying he only heard from her twice. Happening now, some people living near Colorado's Cold Springs fire have been allowed back into their homes. As of last night, that fire burning near Nederland was sitting right around 80% containment. The fire sparked on Saturday after authorities say 2 campers failed to put out their campfire. They have since been charged with arson. At least 8 homes were destroyed by the fire, which was 560 acres at one point. For now, crews say they're monitoring hotspots as they work to get containment up to 100%. They do expect that full containment to come by the end of today. Time is coming up on 6:07. Happening now, a $30,000 reward is being offered in Arizona for information leading to the arrest of a man who police are now calling a serial killer. According to investigators, he has already killed at least 7 people in one neighborhood. The latest victims, a mother, her daughter, and a friend.
14 bullets in my daughter, 12 bullets in my granddaughter, 8 bullets in the other girl. That's 34 bullets.
12-year-old Malia is the youngest victim. 7 people have been killed, 2 others injured since March within a 50-mile radius of each other. Investigators recently released this sketch of a possible suspect described as a light-skinned Latino or white man in his 20s. The FBI and U.S. Marshals are now helping investigate that case. Authorities are also investigating the death of a New Mexico stuntman this week. 35-year-old Jay Torres is known for his stunt work in Sicario, Rob Zombie's Halloween, and Terminator Salvation. Valencia County Sheriff's deputies say they were called to Torres' home in Tome, south of Los Lunas, late Sunday afternoon. Medics performed CPR, but they could not revive Torres. Detectives say they're now waiting on an official cause of death, but Torres may have suffered heat stroke. We spoke with one of Torres' kickboxing trainers in Los Lunas.
So dedicated to his body and his way of thinking and training and discipline.
Friends say that Torres loved working outside with his horses. Happening now, the FBI is offering a $10,000 reward to help solve the murder of a Pueblo, Colorado man. Isaiah Villalpando was gunned down in September. Police say that the red car that you see in this picture pulled up to his and fired multiple times, killing him. The FBI is also investigating this case, but his family believes the shooting was a case of mistaken identity. We're told that Villalpando competed every year in the Mariachi Spectacular in Albuquerque. His family says he'll be honored during this week's event. A shooting suspect accused of terrorizing his neighbors remains behind bars this morning. Derek Foote is accused of shooting a gun over the weekend, hitting several homes and cars. Foote was arrested Monday night, but by Tuesday afternoon, he had posted bond and was out of jail. Foote appeared before a judge again yesterday. Some of the neighbors who feared for their lives were also in court. The judge then set Foote's bond at $50,000 cash only. A former Colfax County Sheriff's deputy who has pleaded guilty to federal drug trafficking is awaiting sentencing this morning. 46-year-old Vidal Sandoval admits that he offered police escorts to drug dealers in his county in exchange for drug money. FBI agents eventually went undercover to catch him. In those cases, he took nearly $10,000 of FBI money, allegedly. Sandoval faces between 5 and 40 years in prison. There are some new numbers out this morning that show more and more people are engaging in road rage incidents. A new survey from AAA shows nearly 8 in 10 U.S. drivers reported engaging in angry and aggressive behavior over the past year. 51% say they purposefully tailgated. 47% yelled at another driver, and 45% admitted to honking at somebody. AAA estimates nearly 6 million drivers have bumped or rammed one another or another car on purpose. AAA offers tips like never causing another driver to change their speed or direction. They say be aware of that. They also encourage you to be tolerant and not to respond with eye contact or gestures, which can escalate things. 6:10 this morning, as controversy over the ART project continues, the city is now unveiling what the new rapid transit buses could look like, how the city says they'll save money.
You're down on the ground now! You're down on the ground now!
A deadly police shooting caught on camera. The department says its officers reacted appropriately, but the family of the man killed says they overreacted. Details coming up. Plus, some breaking overnight news: a person killed along one of Albuquerque's busiest roads. What we've learned in the last few hours. Plus, developing this morning, a fast-moving wildfire continues to burn in Tiburon, just south of Cloudcroft. The latest on evacuations and damage. Good morning, everybody. Many people in one small New Mexico town are out of their homes this morning. The fire blazing in Tiburon, just south of Cloudcroft, has now burned close to 200 acres. We're joined by News 13's Catherine Mazzone. She has the latest overnight. Catherine?
Adam, officials say about 10 homes and outbuildings are destroyed as firefighters work to get a handle on this fast-moving fire. Take a look at this Sky News video that we captured last night. The fire started at around 3:30 yesterday afternoon in northeast Tiburon, then moved south quickly towards the village. Along with 10 structures, the blaze destroyed 2 fire trucks that couldn't move fast enough. There are no reports of injuries. Officials say Otero County deputies went door to door evacuating residents. Cloudcroft's public information officer tells us about 40 people checked into the makeshift shelter at the Cloudcroft gym. Their pets, too. He says more than half of them are staying the night.
The mountain community comes together to take care of each other.
Arlen Ponder tells us the Forest Service and 10 additional departments are fighting this blaze. Air tankers, along with a number of ground crews, are also working the fire. Ponder says they're taking livestock at the Otero County Fairgrounds. A vet in the area also opened up her facility. Close to 900 people live in the village of Tiburon. Back to you, Adam.
All right, Catherine, thank you. There is a roadblock at Highway 130 on Sunspot Highway. Fire officials are asking people to stay away from that area. No doubt firefighters are going to be watching the weather closely today. Kristen Curry is also keeping an eye on the conditions that they could face out there. I mean, it's just been nothing but hot and dry.
Exactly. Yeah, we did have the red flag warnings posted earlier in the week. At this point, no warnings, but we still have to be careful of it. Winds, not terrible. They'll be about 5 to 15 today. This morning, they're coming at us at about 5 miles per hour out of the northwest, but humidity bone dry out there. I mean, we're in the teens. Temperatures not bad, 70s in and around Otero County. So we're going to be watching the area in and around the Tiburon fire all day long. And when it comes to the fire forecast in the fire zone, temperatures in the low 90s, Tiburon a little bit higher up in elevation. That mountain community not quite as hot, but still toasty for fire crews. And when it comes to the winds today, 5 to 15, like I said, a little bit closer to that 15-mile-per-hour mark than I'd like. But tomorrow, much better, a little bit more cloud cover, cooler temperatures, better humidity, and those lighter winds. There's a front in between today and tomorrow that's going to help us out tomorrow with those fire conditions. So I'm going to break down what this front will do in every neighborhood across the state. Eastern Plains, you're going to see a bigger impact here, plus that 7-day forecast, all that coming up here in just about 15 minutes.
All right, Kristen, thank you. Fire crews are also staying on top of a smaller fire near Jemez Springs right now. That fire, named the Monastery Fire, was spotted yesterday afternoon. Sky News 13 pilot reporter Bob Martin caught the heavy smoke and flames on camera. The Sandoval County Fire Department says it burned 3 acres of private land. It is contained today. Firefighters say they're still monitoring hot spots, though. One structure was lost from the flames, but they say it is not believed to be a home. We're also following other breaking news overnight. This news out of the South Valley in Albuquerque, where police say 1 person has been found dead. News 13's Sarah Yingling is live right near Coors and Central with the very latest on how this could affect your morning drive. Sarah?
Adam, that's right. We are at the intersection of Coors and Central, where all lanes are back open this morning after being closed for several hours. This after police spent the morning investigating what they are saying is a hit and run. Now take a look at this video our photographer got earlier this morning from the scene. Police tell us that it appears that someone hit a pedestrian and then took off. That person's identity has not been released, and neither has the driver's. Again, this intersection of Coors and Central was blocked off, but it's back open this morning. So if you're planning on taking this route, you're all clear for your morning commute. Adam?
Sarah, thanks so much. 6:34 this morning. News 13 has uncovered some new details that could explain why the new boss of the Bernalillo County Jail mysteriously backed out at the last second. We asked to speak with the county manager about why Michael Watkins no longer wanted the job, but she sent us to her spokeswoman who wouldn't say why. Confidential sources tell News 13 posts on Watkins' Facebook page were concerned to the county. We looked online and found several posts like this one saying the president was only elected because of the color of his skin. One called President Obama, quote, another black con artist. We did reach out to Watkins, but didn't immediately hear back. When we asked the county about his posts, no comment.
Any social media outlets or posts that happen to be on an applicant's site really isn't appropriate for us to discuss the content.
The county says Watkins did sign the authorization form for a background check, but withdrew from the job before the county could complete it. Watkins was chosen out of 45 applicants for the position. The county says he has a background in corrections, law enforcement, and worked for the federal government. 6:36, in just over 3 weeks now, the Public Regulation Commission is scheduled to hold a public hearing that considers a deal between P&M and Facebook. The utility company is requesting expedited approval for an agreement with the social media site. Facebook needs a new data center and thinks that New Mexico could be the place for it, but wants the center to run solely off renewable energy. Facebook's plans include solar panels and a wind farm. That meeting is expected to happen on August 9th. Happening today, funeral services are expected to begin for the Minnesota man shot and killed by a police officer last week. His death was live streamed on social media and it sparked national outrage. 32-year-old Philando Castile was shot several times during a traffic stop after he told the officer he was licensed to carry a gun. An attorney for the family of Castile confirms that he did have a gun carry permit. Castile's death sparked national protest. It came a day after the death of Alton Sterling, who was also shot to death by police in Baton Rouge. Funeral services for Sterling are expected to be held tomorrow. Newly released lapel camera video out of California this morning shows the deadly shooting of an unarmed man in June. Now, quick warning, some people may find this video disturbing.
You're down on the ground now! You're down on the ground now! Get your on the ground! Fresno Police Department! Drop whatever you have in your hand!
Fresno police shot 19-year-old Dylan Noble twice as he approached them and twice while he was on the ground. His family thinks deadly force was not called for, but the chief is defending his officers this morning, saying Noble walked towards them with a hand behind his back and reached for his waistband while on the ground fumbling with an unknown object. That object turned out to be a piece of plastic with clay inside. Police say the officers were responding to reports of a man carrying a rifle down the street. Internal Affairs will investigate and the district attorney will review the case as well. On the campaign trail today, Hillary Clinton is expected to travel to Virginia this morning, where she's expected to campaign alongside a potential VP pick, Tim Kaine. This as presumptive Republican nominee Donald Trump is also expected to announce his running mate in just over 24 hours. Trump tweeted out, quote, I'll be making the announcement of my vice presidential pick on Friday at 11 a.m. in Manhattan. Details to follow. That's, of course, 9 our time tomorrow. The top names under consideration include Indiana Governor Mike Pence, former House Speaker Newt Gingrich, Alabama Senator Jeff Sessions, and New Jersey Governor Chris Christie. Libertarian Party presidential candidate and former New Mexico Governor Gary Johnson is reaching out to Bernie Sanders supporters today. In a new video, Johnson urged people who are still feeling the burn to consider the Libertarian Party option. It came just hours after Sanders endorsed Hillary Clinton. The video highlights Johnson's civil rights scorecard from the ACLU. Polls show Johnson at 10% right now. If he does reach 15%, he could be included in the upcoming national debates. One Indiana animal shelter is capitalizing on the Pokemon Go craze in a very creative way. It's asking players to volunteer to take shelter dogs out for a walk while trying to catch Pokemon. Dozens of new volunteers showed up yesterday. One woman, in fact, drove more than 45 minutes to participate. The new initiative has become so popular that shelter workers bought 20 new leashes to keep up with the demand. Wow, at least you're getting some exercise, I guess, and the dogs are too.